So, junkyard finds that we're going to replace on this car. 99 Firebird. First thing was the hood bumpers here. The driver's side was missing completely. This was the passenger side that I found. And these are the replacements that I just pulled out of the junkyard. So it's literally just twist it in the hole. That's it. And I can adjust as needed. So the next thing I got is an entire door seal. I have been looking online for weeks now. I've looked at pretty much every site out there, including the company that makes them, and they're back ordered until like July, and it is literally only the beginning of May. So this one, as you can see, I had to wedge pieces in around underneath it that I had laying around just to try and get the window to seal up underneath it to keep the rain out, which still was not doing that great of a job. So this one from the junkyard sealed up perfectly, which is where I pulled this from, junkyard in South Carolina, which I just came back from. So we're going to install that one. So we're going to go through exactly what you need, what tools you need in order to replace the door / T-top seal, because it's all one big assembly, as you can see here. And we'll show you the disassembly and the assembly. Now, of course, while I was at it, I also got a seal for the front engine cowl, the plastic for the driver inside of the driver's side door, because that was missing. I found a driver's side door panel with no crack in it. Amazing, 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 amazing. The only issue that I have with this one is my doors are gray, and that one that I just found is black. So hopefully I can get that thing in there without too much of an issue. But we'll see what happens. I mean, I guess I could always paint it gray, but I think the fabric is dark too, so I'm not quite sure where I'm going to go with that one. Maybe I'll just pull the fabric off this one and put it on that one. I don't know. Or I could just slap the whole damn thing in there and be done with it. But we'll see. Oh, something else that I got. Spare tire hold down, because there was not one in my car at all. I actually found a window motor, or not window motor, or power antenna motor, but I didn't really need the motor. I really just needed this bracket and the draining tube so I can connect that. But now I've got a spare ground wire and a spare electrical wire if I need it. Also pulled wire harness. This is from the driver's side for the window and door lock switches. So I'm gonna have to splice all that in because I was having issues with the window switches not connecting correctly. We got window sweeps, which were actually in very good condition, so I yanked both of those. What else? On the passenger side, broke one of those. That's the door lock inside the door for where you put your finger to unlock it and lock it. So grabbed both of those. Grabbed the passenger side switches too, just in case. This goes to the window seal. So I'm gonna pull that out. This is the grommet for the drain on the antenna motor. And then, of course, ye old throttle body. So the throttle body on my car was acting kind of funky. So I figured, worst case scenario, I will pull one off this car, hook it up, and see if it works any better. As you can tell, it's dirty, and there's no screen. So normally there's a screen there, which assists with the mass airflow sensor right there. So I'm probably going to get a new mass airflow sensor too. I'm going to clean this thing up as good as I can as well. And I'm going to try and run it without the screen and see what happens. And as of right now, it's another piece to the window seal. Then of course I got all the miscellaneous screws and stuff like that that I needed. But everything is here. The tweeter is still in his door too, but yeah, it's kind of like a dark gray. But we'll see what happens. I mean, this one's in better shape than what mine is, so we'll take a whack at it and go from there. All right, so now on to the window seal. All right, tools required. So you got two little screws right there. They are both 9/32. So literally, which is already loose, as somebody was messing with this thing at some point. Both of those have to come out. Now, there's little plastic pieces that are in here on both sides. As you can see right there, so that whole thing has got to come out. And then number 2 Phillips head screws. We'll take both of these pieces off, and that releases the actual seal itself. You're going to have to move, I don't know if yours will have this screw here or not. You may have to just get a molding picker and pull that off. There is a Phillips there, Phillips there, and a Phillips there, and there's another one, as you can see, all the way up there at the footrest. And then this whole piece comes out, and then that's how you're going to get the seal out of there. And then this piece inside here, there is a push grommet that is inside there, so you'll have to pull that out as well. Again, that's where the plastic molding pullers help out a lot. So when I'm talking about the plastic molding pullers, this is actually Dorman. I'm pretty sure I got it off Amazon. I don't post links or anything like that, only for the simple fact of, yeah, I really don't know how. So I do this strictly for people to see what I got going on. I let people know where I get stuff from, and then it's up to you to do your own work. So let me start pulling everything apart here. Thought maybe I'll be able to get to it with my fat fingers, but apparently not. Sorry for my dog barking in the background here, but like I said, I just got home from South Carolina and he's all been out of shape. So there's this screw that comes out of there. So it is tiny. Put it in a spot where you're not going to lose it. And like I was saying, there's that plastic piece inside here. Get the if I can get it to move. When I did this in the junkyard, I just used it. There it goes. It's moving. Flathead screwdriver. Keep in mind, you break this thing and you're out of luck. You're gonna have to pull one from a junkyard. So that's that. And we gotta pull these screws here. Again, you can do this with a regular screwdriver. I just had this thing sitting there, so it just made it a little bit easier. All right, so now you can kind of see in and around that a little easier. And this whole thing, once you get it started, it'll pull right out. It's literally just pressed in is all it is. So, again, this side, this one here, and then the screws that run down along here, pull all that out. I'm not gonna bore you with all that, so let me get that done and we'll get back to it. Like I was saying, it's literally just pressed in there. Now, here I did notice one small problem. I loosened all that up, but the car that I got from the the seal that I took out of the car from the junkyard was, there was no seats. No center console, no seats, which made it a lot easier. This one screw right here, the seat is in the way. So it's either I pull the seats out or the seat and get that screw out, or I got to come up with a stubby and unthread it by hand. So let me see where we're gonna go with that. All right, completely forgot about this one. There is a Phillips head right there as well. Got to pull that one out. All right, so you can kind of see that tiny little hole down right there. That's what was up here in the corner of the frame. So I literally just used the door puller to get that out. Should be able to, as small as this one is, you should be able to press that in by hand. Luckily it came out easy enough, and you can actually access it from inside this seal. So even if the other seal didn't have it, I've still got one. So now, as with anything, the old adage, measure twice, cut once. Despite the fact there's no cut here, I want to make sure that this thing is going to be normal. This came off at 2000, and this is a 99. But looking at the way I've got it laid out here along the door, it's going to fit just fine. So now it is literally just a matter of getting everything in place and pushing the sides of it in. Now, this little lip right here is what goes inside that little, right here, that little ledge right there. So it literally just presses in place. And then of course you've got your two bolts, one here, one up here in the front. And then you've got that one little connector, which this one still had it in, so I pulled it out correctly. I do want to spray this down a little bit though and try and clean it up some, because that looks nasty. So I think I'm going to go over that with some cleaner real quick. Maybe even a little Armor All or something just to soften it back up, because it feels a little crunchy. And then we'll get to installing. Now, if you're anything like me, you're sitting here looking at this corner going, all right, does this go underneath it? Does it go on top of it? What's the deal? So what you do, and this is why you only do one side at a time, you should come over to the other side and take a look at the way that one's laid in, and it is underneath the windshield seal. So you just get a quick look at it. Don't forget you got that little plastic piece that's got to go in there. That's what holds it in. So go back over to the other side, and now we know that this little flap right here needs to fit up underneath here. So that's good. And then once this is back up in place, this fits up inside there, so it matches up, and we'll be good to go. That screw should go right through here without a problem. And it's just a matter of feeding everything else in. So now, something I noticed. I got these back in, excuse me. This piece right here has to fit in behind all of this right here. So you literally have to use something to wedge it in there. I would not suggest using just a regular flat blade screwdriver unless it's a big fat one. So if you've got one of these handy, I mean, they're really not much on Amazon, so it's probably your best bet without tearing up the seal. So it's literally just getting it pressed in there. So you're gonna have to press from the front and push that in at the same time. And then don't forget this screw down here. So remember how I said I was having issues with that screw? Here's what I did. I literally used that, just kind of wedged it out of the way a little bit, and then I was able to get the seal up underneath that lip, or over that lip, I should say. Now the rest of it should fall into place pretty easily. So it's literally just a matter of pushing it onto that wedge all the way around. All right, it's kind of tough to do one-handed, so I got to put you guys back down again for a minute. All right, so when I said you needed the plastic thing to push that edge in around this side, it's the same thing on this one. This is obviously an aftermarket seal. Obviously, it's not original GM, whatever they used. So it's got to fit up underneath that lip. So again, I had to use the plastic trim removal tool in order to push it all up into place. Now, the tough part, again, because I don't want to hit my Durango, is that little clip inside of here. Because I got to find that hole, and that's not the easiest thing to find because it feels like there's some type of caulking or something around it. So it's just a matter of doing it all by feel. Take your time. Don't get frustrated with it. Just take your time and push it in place. Once you get that in, the rest of it falls right in place. All right, so guys, that little nub thing in here, what I had to do was get somebody else to hold flashlight up inside there so I could actually see where the hole was in relation to the little plastic push-in pin. And then once I got that in, everything else fell right into place. Now, the only problem that I've noticed that I have with this car is when the door shuts, everything else fits up underneath that lip nicely, except for right here. So, the only thing I can figure is that it is got something to do with the window not coming up far enough. So, since I got to pull this door apart again anyway, I might as well readjust the window, and we'll make that another video. So that right there, guys, is installing a window seal. Just make sure you get all of your screws and everything back in place. Don't forget this piece, like so. And every now and again, these cars do show up in the junkyard. So, I mean, if you need stuff, go looking for it, because it's probably going to be your best bet. All right, guys, that's door seal for you. If you like videos like this, just like, subscribe, and there'll be plenty more to come between this one and my 79 Trans Am. As a matter of fact, I'll be getting ready to do the American Auto Wire on that one here shortly, the next day or so. If you're literally catching this video just as a regular search, if you look under my playlist, I've got ones listed for the 99 Firebird and also my 79 Trans Am. So if you're looking for any videos for that, all you gotta do is look for the playlist. Like I said, hit like and subscribe. That way you'll know when I put new videos up.